If you were a Bond villain, which type of submarine would you rather have? These are the top 15 most sophisticated and epic submarines in the world. Number 15. Triton Deep View 24. Triton, a Florida-based company that's known for developing submersibles for scientific research, has recently begun to branch out into designing vehicles targeted at the tourist industry. And their new sub, known as the Triton Deep View 24, has the potential to change the way that we explore the seas while on vacation. It has a maximum capacity of 24 passengers who have plenty of room to sit or stand within the 50.5-foot long interior, and is surrounded by panoramic windows to allow views in virtually every direction. Comfort is ensured by an air conditioning system that pumps fresh oxygen through the cabin, and they've ensured that it's easy to enter, even for people with mobility difficulties. Able to submerge to a maximum of 328 feet in almost complete silence because of the quiet electric motors, it'll open up a whole new world that was only previously accessible to those who could dive. The first place Depth View 24 will operate on its Hon Tre Island in Nha Trang, Vietnam, but if it proves successful, it's likely a submarine like this will soon be found in all the popular resorts around the world. Number 14. Marian Hypersub. With every type of vehicle, be it cars, planes, helicopters, or even hovercraft, there's almost an inevitability that a company will design a new concept that's built for speed. Marian has taken this challenge for submersibles, and the result of millions of dollars of research and development is known as the Marian Hypersub multi-purpose subsea utility vehicle. As soon as you see it, it becomes clear that this isn't an ordinary watercraft, because it's a combination of a speedboat and a submarine. The reason why the designers were able to come up with such a radical design was that instead of building it to be tough so that it can plunge the depths of the ocean, this sub can only submerge to a maximum of 1,000 feet below sea level. The vessel's C-frame contains the ballast, motor, batteries, and dive chamber, and a dry chamber cabin is attached to top of it. Amazingly, it's a modular design, so this chamber can be changed depending on what the hypersub will be used for. So it can be a tourist vessel one moment and a fully kitted out research vessel the next. It has a range of 300 miles underwater on a single deployment and can be launched in just 3 feet of water, which means you can pick up passengers from the beach. The company has so far kept quiet about the vehicle's top speed, but they're specifically targeting the world record for the fastest submersible. So if they're successful, it's expected to be able to reach speeds in excess of 50 miles per hour. Number 13. Seawolf-class submarines. The Seawolf-class submarines that are used by the U.S. Navy are quite simply the most deadly submarines on the planet. They were originally designed during the Cold War in the 1980s, with the first entering service in 1997. But due to their huge cost, an estimated $3 billion for each one, only 3 have ever been built. These subs are the last line of defense against the attack subs of other nations. At 353 feet long and 40 feet wide, they are nuclear-powered, so in theory can stay underwater for as long as needed, with the only restriction being the food supplies that are on board for the crew. They have a top speed of 40 miles per hour and a maximum depth of 1,600 feet, but it's the weapons systems on board that make them a cut above the rest. Seawolf subs have 8 torpedo tubes and can carry up to 50 Tomahawk cruise missiles for use against sea and land targets. They're equipped with an ANBSY-2 combat system that provides advanced sonar capabilities for target acquisition and can be fully operated by just 140 crew members. Not all 3 of the Seawolf that have been built are the same, though, because the USS Jimmy Carter underwent upgrades before it left dock. It's 100 feet longer than the other 2 because of the addition of a multi-mission platform, and this allows it to operate and recover remote underwater vehicles, Navy SEAL teams, and can even be used as an underwater splicing chamber that can tap into undersea fiber optic cables. Number 12. Lover's Deep. The super wealthy have options of private jets, remote islands, and mega yachts to spend their entire vacation in absolute luxury. But in 2014, a company began offering voyages of a completely different kind. Lover's Deep is a submarine like no other, because it's been designed to provide the most discerning of guests with everything they need while they cruise along the seabed. It can be hired for just $292,000 per night and is targeted at loved-up couples who want the type of privacy that only a submarine can provide. For the price, you can choose where in the world your voyage will take place, and even decide upon the precise layout inside the submersible. At the front is the guest cabin, which offers panoramic views into the ocean, and to the rear there are soundproof crew cabins where the captain, the private butler, the gourmet chef, and serving staff stay. Depending on the route taken, you can visit shipwrecks, coral reefs, or an endless expanse of deep blue so you can focus on the romantic part of the vacation. But hiring Lover's Deep does come with a warning. Despite being one of the largest private hire subs in the world, there's limited space inside, especially if you're going to be spending a few days there, so it certainly isn't suitable for people who suffer from claustrophobia. Number 11. Typhoon-class submarines. With the need to be able to submerge beneath the waves, there's a significant engineering challenge involved in designing a submarine, and the larger they get, the more difficult they are to get right. This hasn't stopped some enormous submarines being built, however, and the current world record holder for sheer size is the Russian Navy's Dmitry Donskoy TK-208, which is a Typhoon-class submarine. Having entered service in 1980, it's a phenomenal feat of design. At just under 600 feet long, it's almost the same length as 2 football fields end to end. And perhaps more surprising is the fact that the 48,000-ton vessel only requires a crew complement of 160 to fully operate. It is in effect an underwater town and provides everything the sailors need to spend extended periods of time at sea. There's a swimming pool, a gym, a sauna, and even a basketball court. As you'd expect, it has enormous firepower too, with surface-to-air missile system, 6 torpedo tubes, and a ballistic missile system through which it can launch a range of weapons such as cruise missiles and SLBMs. Despite being built more than 40 years ago, the Dmitry Donskoy has undergone extensive refits in the time since, which means it's also one of the most advanced submarines in the Russian fleet, with all of the latest technologies at its disposal. It's no wonder then that this is the flagship of the Russian Navy subs, and because of the huge cost involved in creating something like this, it's unlikely anyone will ever build a submersible vessel anywhere near as big as it again. Number 10. Nyek Luxury Submarine. The combination of improving technologies and increasing number of people with the wealth to buy expensive vessels means that manufacturers are coming up with creations that would have been impossible even a decade ago. Ocean Submarine is a company at the forefront of futuristic design, and recently they revealed a submarine in collaboration with Rolls-Royce, MTU, and Bosch. Known as the Nyek Luxury Submarine, the $25 million vessel is between 63 and 79 feet long and is intended to be used as a personal sub. There's room on board for up to 20 passengers in the cabin. That's about the same as you'd find in a private jet, and it's fitted with a bar and even a library. The intent is for the sub to work in tandem with a yacht, but it can also be used independently as it has a range of 1,250 miles and can be fitted with landing gear, meaning it can drive up onto a beach. This means it offers a level of privacy like never before and allows owners to travel between their yachts and the shore without the outside world knowing a thing. If you're looking to take the party off your boat to explore the surrounding waters, then the Nyek Luxury Submarine is the best on the market right now and shows just how radical the designs of subs are becoming. Number 9. Astute-class submarines. The Astute-class submarine is the latest design and most powerful type of submersible vessel in the British Navy. The first one entered service in 2014 with an estimated cost of around $2 billion per boat, and they are designed to be able to defend against attacks or launch precision strikes against enemy facilities. These subs are just over 318 feet long and can reach a maximum depth of around 1,000 feet. In theory, there's no limit to their range because of the fuel cells they use, and the only reason they ever need to surface is to load food and provisions for the 109 crew on board. There's space on board for 38 weapons, which can be made up of Tomahawk Block 4 cruise missiles and Spearfish heavyweight torpedoes, all of which can be launched through the 6 21-inch torpedo tubes. Fitted with the latest sensor technology, Astute-class subs know exactly what's around them to allow for precision strikes. And with extremely quiet engines, they can sneak up on an enemy before their target has any clue that they're there. There's no doubt that these are some of the most dangerous vessels in the ocean, and very few countries have anything at their disposal that's capable of counteracting them. We are constantly adding more people to the Top 5's production team to bring you all the best content. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on and hit the like button. Number 8. Sea Breacher X. Not all subs have to be about exploration or military dominance, and a company called Sea Breacher has designed a class of high-speed submersible that's aimed firmly at wealthy extreme sports enthusiasts. Known as the Sea Breacher X, and often designed to look like aquatic animals like sharks or dolphins, these vessels are fitted with 300 horsepower engines that put them on par in terms to their power-to-weight ratio with a Lamborghini or Bugatti supercar. With a top speed of around 50 miles per hour, you can bounce across the waves and dive into the water, and have fins that are designed to enable insanely sharp turns, barrel rolls, and a number of other high-octane maneuvers. This is about as much fun as you can have on water, and is set to replace jet skis as the must-have aquatic toy. And they don't cost as much as you might expect. With prices starting at $80,000. While there's a number of people who will buy one for their private use, resorts around the world are looking into the viability of adding some of these to their offering. You could well find there's one available to hire the next time you go on vacation. Number 7. U-Boat Super Yacht Sub 3. U-Boat Works is a company based in the Netherlands that's been creating personal submarines since 2005. With more than 15 years' experience in the field, it's one of the world leaders for submarine design, and one of the most recent models to be revealed was the Super Yacht Sub 3. Intended to be stored and launched from a super yacht, it's billed as the most compact private submarine that money can buy. But despite its size, it offers an incredibly comfortable journey beneath the waves with an impressive viewing bubble that allows passengers to see all around. It's able to reach a maximum depth of 1,000 feet, and there's room on board for 3 passengers. It's powered by lithium-ion batteries and can be deployed for 12 hours at a time between charges, with a top speed of 3 knots, which is the equivalent to around 3.5 miles per hour. Unlike most submersibles, the Super Yacht Sub 3 doesn't need an expert pilot because it's fitted with a series of safety measures to allow anyone to handle the controls. It won't go lower than its maximum depth, for example, and can be fully controlled by an easy-to-use remote device. It also has a buoy connected to it so the crew on the surface know the sub's location at all times. And there's even a mechanical claw that allows those on board to interact with the ocean environment around them. Number 6. Deep Sea Challenger. Since the invention of the first submarine, people have been wondering quite how deep it's possible to go in one. And with the Deep Sea Challenger, Archer and Project Limited created a vessel that's able to reach the deepest depths that the ocean has to offer. The 24-foot-long submersible was created for James Cameron in his quest to journey to the bottom of Challenger Deep, which is the deepest part of the ocean in the world in the Mariana Trench in the Pacific. But to enable it to do this, the sub is designed very differently to others you may be familiar with. The first major difference is that instead of being a horizontal design, it has a vertical orientation. And at 11.8 tons, its sole job is to sink into the water as quickly and as safely as possible. There's room for just one person on board, inside a pilot's sphere that's just 43 inches in diameter. And to withstand the extreme pressures that are exerted on it at depths it's designed to go to, it's surrounded by steel walls that are 2.5 inches thick. It can be maneuvered by 12 thrusters that are positioned around its circumference and holds enough oxygen to support the pilot for up to 56 hours. Most of its weight is ballast that's used to make it sink, and when it's time to return, this ballast is released and the vessel floats back to the surface. Of course, in the depths of the trench, there's no chance of rescue, so as backup, the brackets that hold the ballast are designed to corrode in seawater after a set amount of time. So even if the release mechanism fails, the sub will eventually make the return trip before the oxygen supply runs out. It may not be the prettiest or most comfortable submarine in the world, but the Deep Sea Challenger is the only one that can reach any part of the ocean while at the same time allowing the pilot to see outside, so it's definitely one of the most epic subs on Earth. Number 5. Migaloo M7. The incredible 928-foot-long M7 is the flagship design of Migaloo Private Submersible Yachts, a company based in Austria. And as the name would suggest, this isn't just a submarine, but it's a private yacht as well. With a design based on the U.S. Navy's Zumwalt-class destroyers, the M7 certainly holds up as a yacht in its own right, with a helipad, a swimming pool, several VIP suites, and a number of hangar bays to store tender and toys in. At a cost of up to $1 billion, it's far more expensive than most yachts, but that's because the M7 has a secret weapon. When those on board are tired of surface life, the pool can be covered, the hangar bays are closed, and it can begin to submerge beneath the surface. It can reach an impressive maximum depth of 1,500 feet, where it can stay for up to 24 hours at a time before needing to surface, and has a top speed underwater of 20 knots, which is the equivalent of 23 miles an hour. When they're underwater, guests can make use of the jacuzzi, a movie theater, a gaming room, and a library, and the food's served within a 36-seat dining room that has glass-paneled windows, so guests can look out at the environment around them. Not only does the submersible yacht give a whole new perspective on the ocean, but it also allows crews to avoid choppy waters and storms, because they can simply sail beneath them. And while no one has officially placed an order for one of these vessels yet, it's just likely a matter of time until one is sailing the seas. Number 4. Deep Flight Dragon. If there's not much space on a super yacht to fit a full submersible, or for the times when you want to be closer to the marine environment than most private submersibles allow, the Deep Flight Dragon could well be the best choice. It's the most lightweight and compact personal submersible that's available. It feels like you're flying or hovering in the water. The quad brushless DC motors are arranged in a way that makes it look like a quadricopter, and its manufacturers say you'll get the same level of control and maneuverability. There's room inside the 16.4-foot-long vehicle for one pilot and one passenger, and it can reach a depth of up to 330 feet at a speed of 3 knots. It's ideal for exploring wrecks and reefs and is fitted with high-beam LED lights to allow for nighttime voyages too. The controls are so simple to use that virtually anyone will be able to pilot it, and the company behind it hopes that by making these commonplace on yachts and water sports venues across the world, they'll make undersea exploration available to anyone. Number 3. Virginia-class submarines. The Seawolf-class submarines are by far the most powerful in the U.S. Navy, but their extreme cost means that the focus is now on the newly designed Virginia-class. They are nuclear-powered fast attack subs that first entered service in 2004 and are expected to continue in operation till at least 2060. The subs are 377 feet long and 34 feet wide, and because they have a nuclear fuel cell, they have an unlimited range. They hold a crew of up to 135 members, have a max depth of up to 1,000 feet, and can travel at up to 29 miles per hour in silent operation, or more than that if engine noise isn't a concern. As you'd expect from a new design, Virginia-class submarines are equipped with an unbelievable arsenal, some of which have been officially announced in public, and some of which are just rumored, since the full details are classified. They have 12 vertical launch system tubes that are used for Tomahawk missiles, 4 torpedo tubes, and can store 25 torpedoes and 12 missiles at any one time. There's also the suggestion that each of these subs is fitted with high-energy laser weapon that's built into one of the masts. It's also thought to be capable of having power output of 500 kilowatts and can interfere with and potentially incapacitate enemy forces. Number 2. U.S. Submarines Phoenix 1000. U.S. Submarines is another company that specializes in luxury submarine design, and its current flagship model is called the Phoenix 1000. Costing upwards of $80 million, this incredible vessel has 5,000 square feet of interior space, within which are cabins, a dining room, and plenty of acrylic viewing windows to look out into the surrounding ocean. There's a galley on board so guests can be wined and dined while they're journeying at depths of up to 1,000 feet, and the sub can stay submerged for up to a week at a time before needing to surface to take on supplies. Perhaps the most epic thing about the Phoenix 1000, though, is that it actually comes with its own mini-sub that can dock alongside it. This allows guests to go on a more intimate trip if they want, and can go much lower to a depth of 2,000 feet, and it can also be used as a transport vessel to take people back to the surface, which means the main sub itself can remain beneath the waves. Number 1. The Carapace. The most incredible submarine design in the world at the moment is undoubtedly the Carapace. And while a buyer is yet to come forward with the estimated $2 billion needed to build the hybrid yacht and sub, its designers hope that there will be one sailing the oceans at some point this decade. The 256-foot-long vessel has everything on board you'd expect from a yacht across 3 levels, including multiple VIP cabins, a lounge, a spa, a bar, and a health club, as well as hangar bays that could hold the tenders and water toys if you like jet skis and slides. Powered by a diesel, electric, and fuel cell system, the Carapace will have a cruising speed of 16 knots on the surface, but at the flick of a switch, it will be able to submerge itself to a depth of 986 feet. So long as there are enough supplies for the people on board, it'll be able to stay underwater for up to 10 days at a time, and it's so aquadynamic that it doesn't lose much speed at all, and will be able to cruise around at 13 knots. As well as being targeted at billionaires looking for the next class of giga yacht, the Carapace is also being positioned as the ideal vessel to be hired for a corporate retreat, where important meetings can be conducted on the sea floor without any prying eyes finding out any secretive information. Watch our Vehicles playlist for more top 15 videos about amazing vehicles. Sit back, relax, and binge watch all of our best vehicle videos.